Well, hi, hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Last Astral. Yes, our solo TTRPG campaign that we are playing using Ironsworn Starforged. It's been a big learning curve so far, but it's been a lot of fun. Definitely out of my spectrum a little bit, but I have still been really much so enjoying this system so far. That being said, I do believe we have about 2 more episodes in this first series before we take a break and maybe do a new series. But if you would like to see more Ironsworn Starforged episodes in the future using Cassidy Cayde and all of her fun, please make sure to leave a like down there on this video and let me know down in the comments below how much you're enjoying it. Also, speaking of that, remember that this is collaborative storytelling, so if you have an idea for something, please make sure to leave it down there in the comments so we can check it out and have some dang old fun with it. I think with all that being said, last episode I thought about it so much, and I think it's so cool how we just rolled Beacon, and Beacon was such a cool role for us to come up with because it's like finding a map to the last of the Astral Elves. It's just such a cool thing, so I'm really excited to try to get off Janus, hopefully in this episode, or at the very least the beginning of the next one. We'll see how it goes. So we can start traveling through the stars in our ship, the fallen Mercury, which we haven't even stepped inside of yet. And it's, what are we, episode 4, episode 3 here? I don't know. I'm not counting world building. Anyways, let's get into it, shall we? So, as you can see, my great book of random tables, the actual book came in the mail just the other day. It's actually what inspired me to hop back on and, start rolling some dice again. Really cool book, by the way. And if you want to pick up, of course, any of these books or anything by yourself, for yourself, please make sure you use our link down in the the description for the drive-through RPG. Wow, starting off talking really good on this episode. Anywho, it's got some really fun things in it that we're going to be able to roll on. Ice planet encounters, space complications and encounters, urban encounters, personal and small items in a cargo hold. Very, very fun stuff. Big ol' table of contents that we've got here. Of course, the auto exposure does not like that book open at all, but anyways, we've still got our character sheet here. I did put beacon ×1 down here on the bottom because I believe finding all of these beacons, at the very least finding however many they are, and the fun thing about this system actually is because it's a part of our background vow, we can roll on it later to see if we've found enough parts of the map to try to figure out where they're located. Even if we don't find them all, we still might be able to piece it together by rolling on our background vow, which I think is a very cool thing. Anyways, we've just got that going. Our threads are looking good. We're still journeying to the mine. I believe that this is going to be completed today. Fallen Mercury and Failsafe, very good, and I always recommend to everybody, if you're playing solo and you take a week or so before you play again, just make sure you look through everything that you got to remember what the heck is going on. I think I'm blessed because I can actually re-watch previous episodes to remember what's going on. It's kind of a fun thing, but anyways, before we begin, of course, when we begin, we're going to do our begin a session move that we have here. Hold on. That's a little bit better. Okay, so we're gonna roll a begin a session move, which could, like last time we rolled up, that Tion is somehow captured by the SilverOrder, which we do have awesome SilverOrder art of the SilverOrder guys. It was done by our artists, Children of Proteus. Shout out to them. They have their own comic book, their own Twitch channel. Check out links down in the description. Oh, this guy right here. I straight up told her, I was like, I don't know, they have like tattoos and a lot of piercings and they're in like, science fiction trench coat uniform. I was like, but sky's the limit, whatever you think. She's been watching the series, so she knows what's up. And this is what she came up with. And I think it's very cool to have like this tattooed mohawk down the like whole side of their head and then just like completely pierced up. Just makes sense to me. Like the SilverOrder have like all these silver piercings, I was like, that seems on the nose, and I enjoy that a lot. So here's what our SilverOrder guys look like. But anyways, leave that up for a sec. We're gonna roll a D100. Now, my friends, is a 35. Seemingly unrelated situations are shown to be connected. Seemingly unrelated situations shown to be connected. I think I've got it. So let's paint our scene here together as we're waking up inside of these ruins. Like, it was a safe place for us to rest for the night before we finish our journey to the mine. And as we're waking up in the morning, I might ask a yes or no question here because it seems a little odd to me, but as Cassidy wakes up and we're looking around, there's something going on with Failsafe. It's Failsafe in the beacon itself, completely unconnected, seemingly unrelated, but somehow we see that they are now connected. I'm going to ask a couple questions here. Do we find something else? 50-50, it's an 86. The answer is yes if you roll 50 or less on a 50-50, so that's a no. Do we see Failsafe doing something? 59, almost, but no. Does the beacon itself do something when like failsafe goes by it? That, my friend, is a 0-2, which is an extreme yes. Or sorry, that's a 20. Still a yes. So as we wake up, failsafe is probably like doing circles. As we had the day before, he was very cautious of all of this. For whatever reason, it's just something that I said out loud, but now that seems to be more prevalent because he's like scoping everything out. And as he goes around, something happens. We're gonna roll, what is focus and descriptor? Sounds pretty good to me. 75, shelter, 87, secret. Oh, so somehow when Cassidy was building failsafe, she included something inside of its mechanical inner workings. Some of her magic helped her build it, so it's like connected to her. And as failsafe passes by like just a normal wall, the wall like lights up as failsafe passes by it. And secret shelter to me is, I mean, that's obviously a secret room that he passes by. So we're just in this big open general area. She was just like sleeping on the friggin' concrete the night before, you know, just like resting. But as he passes by it, this door like lights up like, and then it opens, and he turns and he's like,
Mrs. Cayde.
She's like, what now, failsafe? What have you done? Wait, oh, is that a secret room, failsafe?
Yes, I seem to have stumbled upon a doorway.
Oh, good. And then I think she's going to go over to him and they're both going to look inside of this room here. What is going on in this room? What kind of secret room is it? I'm immediately thinking, you know, just kind of like some kind of shelter place for, you know, astral elves to take a pit stop, but maybe there's something else going on in here. So let's roll. Do we have something in our new book, maybe? Let's look at the table of contents. You know, there's a lot of cool things in here, but I do not think any of it is like to tell us about a room. So we're going to go with focus. 52 is mechanism. Well, I hate that. That's not fun at all. How would this mechanism benefit us or help our journey at all? Will it? What kind of mechanism is it? Can't think of anything. So let's roll again. Descriptor. 56. Inaccessible. An inaccessible mechanism. Is it some kind of vehicle? 50-50. So 31, which under 50, that means yes. It is a vehicle. Is it a spacecraft or is it a land vehicle? Better question. That's a 0-4. Absolutely, it's a land vehicle. It's inaccessible. Because, I mean, we were driving on the dang minecart. Or drill, I mean, so, okay. Inaccessible mechanism. That is a land vehicle. I'm just thinking machine in my head. I'm not even thinking mechanism. I'm just thinking machine. Mechanism. I did say minecart. Is it an underground railway? I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I'm going to call it likely. That is a 19. Yes. It is an inaccessible underground railway. Like underground mining railway? Maybe it's inaccessible because there's no carts or mines for her to ride on it. But it is still a mining tunnel. It's still a mechanism that the astral elves potentially had built to get from one place to another. And so, sure, she looks at it, she looks at failsafe, and she's like, failsafe, can you do a scan of this tunnel? Does it lead us in the direction we're supposed to go?
Of course, ma'am.
And does it lead us in the right direction? I'm gonna call it almost certain. No. Oh. Okay, well, if you don't know, that is a 100. So even though I said almost certain, it is, wait, a 0 and a 10. Yeah, because 00, that would be 001. So, yeah, that's 100. Wait, maybe that's 100. Or is that 10? I think that's 100. I'm second guessing myself. How long have I been playing D&D and stuff and I still don't know how D100 dice works? My lord. 11. I literally Googled it and it's so funny how many other people had that same question. My goodness. So I guess we are treating this like 100. So it doesn't go in the direction we need it to. And I think that's okay because we do have a drill. So here's the question. I think Cassidy sits and thinks for a little while. Do we want to approach this mine from above ground or below ground? Because we have a fully charged drill that we can use to come in from underneath now that we have these tunnels we can go through. These tunnels won't necessarily lead us right to the mine, but with failsafe scanning abilities, we should at least be able to get to the right vicinity. And then we can use the drill to go across through the tunnel, which I think is a great idea. Will it work? I don't know. But we could risk it for the biscuit, because if not, we might have to deal with an on-land encounter, being that we stole a minecart the other day, and they might be out searching for us up on land now, because we totally took a nap right there in the middle. So SilverOrder could be up there literally anticipating our arrival, but if we come from underground, what are they going to do? So I think that's what we're going to... Okay, so now since we've come up with a plan, what we're going to do is we're actually going to mark a progress here on our journey to the mine, because it's actually one of the quest moves. It's very fun. Reach a milestone. So anytime you gain meaningful insight, which is kind of what just happened here, you may mark progress per the rank of your vow. And this vow is troublesome, which I think means... I know some of you guys really like this stuff and some of you guys hate it, but that's okay. Troublesome is 3 boxes we get to mark here, which that's wonderful. That's very wonderful, because we might be able to do a progress move later, roll against that to see maybe. Okay, so that puts Journey to the Mine up at 6 full boxes. We're almost there. And then also, do you think... Reach a milestone. I'm really happy I found this too, reach a milestone action here in the book, because previously I was like, well, I'm just kind of like adding progress to things when I think that it happens. That doesn't mean. But since they put this in here, it kind of helps a little bit. Very good. So that also means, reading here, we get to develop our relationship with Failsafe, which is really cool, which is probably, should put it in over there, but it's fine. We leverage their help in desperate circumstances. So this right here, we're leveraging their help. So we're going to mark a box. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to explore a waypoint, because I feel like theoretically that's what we're doing when we divert from an expedition to examine a notable location. And we're just going to go through this tunnel. We're going to roll on wits to see if it goes well. If we don't run into anything, you know, there could be creatures living down here. Literally, who knows? But also, we're following Failsafe's lead. So I'm going to give myself a +1 on this, because Failsafe is going to be using like his little flashlight. He's going to be scanning the area to make sure we get where we need to go. And this is wild, because it's not at all how I thought this episode was going to go. It's so crazy when you sit down to play something, and it's just crazy. I didn't have tunnel in my head at all when I sat down to whatever. Let's roll, baby. We got a 9, a 7, and a 2. 2 plus our wits, 2 makes it a 4, makes it a 5. That's a weak hit. So, no, it makes it a miss. You encounter an immediate hardship or threat. Must pay the price. On a miss with a match, you may instead confront chaos. So what would immediate hardship or threat? Let's check. Okay, so there's a nice little pay the price roll chart here, and we're just going to roll on that just to see maybe if that can give us some help. 68. Your vehicle suffers damage. So it also says here you can ask here on this oracle. If it doesn't make sense, roll again. We don't have a vehicle currently, so we aren't doing that. It's a 24. You are separated from something or someone. Ooh, no. That makes a lot of sense to me, being separated. So what if Cassidy Cayde and Failsafe are traveling through this darkened tunnel with the light of Failsafe's eyes guiding the way as he pushes them forward, scanning as he goes. And then in a flash, there's a collapse. I think a bunch of rocks fall down, like the mine collapses in the center, like, and she's like, no, Failsafe, no. And he's like, ma'am. And he turns around after all these rocks fall and the dust settles. And Cassidy can see Failsafe on the other side, like his little bright eyes in the darkness. And she's like, okay, hold on. I'll figure out a way. I'll figure out a way through. I'll find another way. And he's like, please be careful, ma'am. So we have been separated right here in the middle of this tunnel. So we do not have very many options, but I think what I'm going to do is I want to see if Cassidy Cayde can find another doorway or cutaway or something like that in these tunnels to be able to get around back to Failsafe, at the very least. And if that goes right, I mean, like, that's easy. We're going to roll, wits. So +2 to see if we can do that. This is a 2 and an 8, so we got a weak hit. So I think she does find something. On a weak hit, she finds something, but it's not ideal. It's not an ideal way around. So it's not like an easy to open doorway that was made in this tunnel. It has to be like, I think something that's going to kind of be like just a pain in the butt for her to get through, I think. Like a small little tunnel. Maybe it was a tunnel that was like made by some kind of alien organism, some kind of creature that's living here, that lives in the dark. We have those cactus creatures up top, but there's some kind of smaller animal that dig holes. And so she sees this hole, and she knows these animals. She's been living here long enough. good opportunity to use this book. I would like to shout out to you guys in the comments if you want to describe these alien mole creatures, maybe what they're about. I don't know, but I think Cassidy definitely knows the name of them, so we're actually going to roll on this here book. Alien names number 1. And we got a 62. Oogas. Oogas. O-U-G-A-Z. Oogas. If you guys have any ideas about what the heck the Oogas do here on this planet, let me know, because we are about to climb through an Oogas hole to get back over to Failsafe. And I mean, it's not good. What? I'm sure that these Oogas leave remnants behind, whether that be fur, feathers, ooze, or skin pieces, whatever it is. So she has to climb through that nastiness, and she hates it. For sure. I mean, I don't think she's a very cleanly person. She's down to get oily and fix mechanics and stuff, but I definitely think that this is not something she wants to do. So as she crawls through it, the whole time she's muttering to herself like, God dang it, Failsafe leading us through stupid tunnel. Ugh, nasty. And she crawls all the way around through this tunnel and eventually gets back out to the side where Failsafe. Thankfully. That could have been a lot worse, but we got to do a little bit of lore building, so I'll take it. All right, and we have overcome an obstacle here, which means we get to mark again. And at this point, we only have one left before we are for sure at the mine. So I think these two travel along together for a little while longer, and eventually they get to a point where
Man, I believe we are here. As far as we can go, anyway. Due north.
Wait a minute. Whenever I rolled about the vehicle, remember? And then I was like, nah, we don't have the vehicle. We don't have a vehicle. Yes, we do. We have the drill. We brought it with us so we could drill through the wall. So I think Cassidy turns to Failsafe and she's like, where's the drill? And he's like,
what do you mean?
She's like, oh, we forgot the drill. So what she has to do is she goes all the way back. She crawls all the way back through that nasty tunnel, muttering to herself, frickin' Sailsafe, god darn. And she goes and she gets the drill. And then she drives it back through the tunnel. But this time, she uses the drill to drive through all of the rocks and stuff, get it the heck out of the way. I'm just going to use some of the gas on the drill for sure to actually power it up and get through it. But I do think when she's going through these rocks, this is kind of easy street, and it kind of teaches her a little bit of how to actually operate this thing. It gives her the opportunity to learn how to use the drill and everything, which I think is good. Then she drives it all the way up the tunnel and gets back to Failsafe, where he's just waiting. And it probably at least takes her, a little while, like 20, 30 minutes, where she gets, gosh, that's so funny to me. Hey, look, we all make mistakes, and that is just so funny. Okay, moving on. So now that we've made it here, we technically have not finished our expedition, but as we see here, there is a finish in exploration move that says when your expedition comes to an end, roll the challenge dice, compare them to your progress. Our progress is 9 currently, right? Yes. On a strong hit, we reach our destination or complete our survey. Mark a reward on your Discovery's legacy track per the rank. Any allies who share this also mark. On a weak hit as above, but you face an unforeseen complication at the very end of the expedition. Make the legacy reward 1 rank lower and envision what you encounter. But on a miss, our destination is completely lost to us, or you come to understand that the true nature or cost of the expedition. Envision what happens and choose one. Oh man. So if we miss this, theoretically, this whole minecart, this mine through the ground idea might not work at all. Drill through the ground to the mine idea. I mean, that's something. Okay, well, we're gonna roll the dice, and we do have 5 momentum, which doesn't help us at all. We're going to hop in this thing. We're going to start it up. We're going to start the drill. And Failsafe is, yes, ma'am, this way. And we're going to start drilling forward. We're comparing this to 9. We're making a finish and expedition move. Here we go. That is a 1 and a 7, which is a strong hit. Yes. I don't think I've ever been as excited about a strong hit before. So we get the micro reward on our Discovery's track. This was a troublesome discovery. So we get 1 tick. We'll take it. We complete our quest and we mark our discovery. Nice. Okay. This is exciting. So we're going to emerge in the inside of this mine. I mean, we've made it to the mine. Exciting. My dry erase marker is a good idea, but this is where I keep turning the page right here. So my fingers keep wiping it. Okay. Let me think for a sec. We must envision this emergence into this mine is a very cool thing. So before we describe this scene, there's a few things that we need to ensure that we remember, okay? We are going to this mine to find the Precursor because we believe that inside of it we will be able to find a hydrogen injector that will be able to push our ship forward to allow us to be able to finally be space-worthy. Second of all, this mine is being controlled by the SilverOrder, these assholes. And the SilverOrder is here originally to mine silver, but they landed upon this Precursor. And now rumor has it that they are investigating this Precursor ship to try to get an upper hand on potential rogue AI which was a comment suggestion, I believe, by Greek Solo, shout out. But that doesn't really concern us. Rogue AI, whatever, that's not really our business. We're here to get our part and get the heck out of here. Those are the three most important things, but additionally, we must remember that Tion has been grabbed up by these guys. And man, it would save us a lot of time if we could get her the heck out of here. Maybe they brought her to the mine and put her in prison here. Did they do that? I'm gonna call it very likely. That is, my friends, a 51. Which on our very likely chart here, my dice hold, which on our chart here very likely is 75 or less. So that'll do. I'm all about it. So potentially Tion is here. So we need to find Tion. We need to get the hydrogen injector off of the Precursor, and we need to get the heck out of here. So I think while they're traveling through the dirt, just mining and just drilling away through the, I think she's talking to Failsafe about all of this, you know, kind of trying to wrap her head around it. She's like, we're going to need a way to escape. She still has her skimmer, although it be kind of at the point of explosion right now. And this drill is not fast enough. So I definitely think that she's wondering, like, what if the Precursor ship was still flyable? But it's down in the dirt, underground, crashed a long time ago. So there's no way that it'll just get the heck out of here. I'm thinking about escape plan is what I'm doing right. I mean, if we could just sneak in, we could sneak back out the tunnel. I mean, that's easy, especially because we moved the rocks with the drill, so now we just have an easy way out. But if we did go out this and we're followed, then the SilverOrder will be able to find the beacon, and we do not want that. Good. So we have to make sure we're not followed. Maybe we can close up this hole once we're on the other side of it. Explosives. Maybe there's explosives. We need to find explosive below a hole in this tunnel so no one can follow it. I'm brainstorming a lot. This is kind of a big moment. Hey, by the way, if you're watching this far and you haven't subscribed yet, you absolutely should. I do solo things all the time here on the channel. I love doing solo roleplay stuff. I even do like some, tutorials on how you can maybe play better. I read through Mythic Magazine. I do reviews of other things. And I have an idea of what my next solo series might be if I don't go back to the Walking Dead solo series, because I just loved playing that one so much. It fit my vibe and my brain perfect, especially after I learned how to do it well. Anyways, that was my little YouTube spiel in the middle of the video. You're supposed to do that, I think. I don't know. I'm trying. I just like rolling dice and telling stories, truthfully. One other thing I do want to say, we've made it to the mine, which I think was a big part of escaping Janus, which is another vow that we have completed, which, by the way, whenever vows are completed, I guess I should say we've made it to the mine. So that means that one of the scars, the scratches, the cuts on Cassidy's ear healed like magically whenever we arrive to the mine. It's gonna like happen. Does she notice it? I'm not sure, but this is a dangerous one, and this book is so helpful. It is 2 whole. So we're halfway to escaping of Janus. I'm just thinking, and my chair is real squeaky. I could hear it in this room. Okay, we're going to emerge from the mine. At what point do we emerge? Obviously, we're down pretty low. We went down some stairs, probably went downhill in this tunnel, and then we just went right across here. So how far down are we? I guess we're going to ask some yes or no questions before we right away face danger. When we emerge, do we emerge somewhere helpful? There's 2 options, and I'll roll after. 50-50. That is an 18, so yes. So on a coin flip here, I'm wondering if we could literally emerge in this prison jail area, this like makeshift probably cells that they have built in this mine to hold Tion. Maybe Tion knows more than what she's coming across as, because if they brought her all the way here, which we did roll a yes on that, she probably knows more. Maybe she's more of a high up with the SilverOrder than we know. I think Tion's probably was a part of the SilverOrder, and now it's like backstabbing them. I think what's going on here. Now I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, she had this map, she was working at the prison, she's been here for a long time. I think Tion was a part of the SilverOrder. Maybe she's got all those silver piercings and stuff in her ears and stuff. We can't see them. She's got her crazy hair over her piercings. We didn't know. That could be something that Cassidy's going to find out later. That's a secret that Tion is holding on to. She was a part of the SilverOrder. Anyways, do we emerge in the prison cell or do we emerge like right in the area of the Precursor ship? Those are two really good places for us to emerge as. Under 50, we'll pop out in the prison. Over 50, we'll pop out near the ship. That is a 66, which doubles on a yes or no. Doesn't give us anything, but doubles on like moves. But anyways, so we emerge near the Precursor ship. So we come out, and there's probably guys out. There's like guards, right? And as she comes out, her ear heals, and she like touches her ear. She's like, "What was that?" Huh. And I'm sure it's a little loud. So I think she probably like stops the drill, hops off, and she's gonna hide behind some crate. And there's gonna be some guys, and since we're next to the ship, we can sneak over and try to get the hydrogen injector from this ship. And I'm imagining this ship is huge. Is the ship huge? That's a 67. No, it's not. So is it normal size, like a normal size ship like hers? Or is it small? Is it a small ship? Is it a small ship? That's a 19. Yeah, so it's a small ship. It's like a single person ship just like crashed in here. And I'm sure she sees it. She's like excavating all around it. They're like pulling rocks and other kinds of stuff all around. But at this point, I think when we arrive in here, I know there's going to be some guards that, like patrolling, like walking around, like talking to. Boy, hate being on guard, dude. Eh? I know. I'm going to take a whisker on this tree over here. Just kidding. So she's going to need to sneak. So we're actually going to face danger is our adventure move here. Is what we're going to do. We're going to be rolling with shadow because deception, stealth, or trickery. Roll plus shadow. So we're going to be sneaking over to this small precursor, and if we can get over there without getting caught, we're going to try to sneak under it, and so we're rolling shadow, which is a +3. We don't have anything else that gives us any bonuses. We have gearhead and we have kinetic. Yeah. Could we give ourselves a +1 by doing this trickery thing? By using our kinetic powers? Remotely pull, push, lift, or constrict objects and beings that are about your size or smaller. When you're in a risky situation and draw on your powers to make a move, add a +2 and lose -2 momentum. So we could basically use our momentum to give us an extra +2 if we need to. But let's just roll first and see, because I don't think we're going to need it in this situation. That's another 2, dude. What is up with these friggin' dice? I'm about to throw them away. That's a 5 because it's 2 + 3. So that's a weak hit. On a weak hit, you succeed but not without a cost. Make a suffer move, okay? I think it makes sense to lose momentum here. So we can actually lose -1 momentum, which makes sense. That's why it's so handy, because it's used in so many different places. We had 5, now we're going down to 4. So like as we're sneaking across here, failsafe right behind us, I think that like a bunch more guards come in the room and they're all like talking amongst themselves about like what they're going to do next and what they're doing. And we're going to listen in because we might be able to take this as an advantage. We're losing momentum because it's going to take us longer because we're going to have to wait for these guards to leave so we can move forward. We're like stuck in the middle of the room by some crates and there's just guards all around us and they don't see us, but we're there and we have to just wait. But while we're waiting, do we hear them mention anything about where they're holding Tion? That is a 39. So we do. We hear one of them. They're like, right, well, we've got the old bitch held up. I don't know why all of them have this accent. They just do, though. That's the way the SilverOrder sounds to me. We got the old bitch hold up. She's right up there, down that way. We've got her hold up in the cell. She ain't talking. Oh, but we'll make her talk. We need to know who she sent the map to. No one can know that we're here. And then we're going to sneak over after they disperse. We're sneaking over to the ship itself. And I want to read our gearhead card because when you make a move to craft, repair, repurpose, or modify equipment or technology, you can get a +1 and a +1 momentum on a hit. I don't think that we're crafting, repurposing. Well, we are repurposing the hydrogen injector. I think I do kind of want to roll on it because, let's see here. I know that we're supposed to, use these moves as kind of a way to end scenes and etc., but I think it makes sense here to secure an advantage. So we're actually going to use our gearhead move here. We're going to use our shadow, so we're going to get +1, and if we succeed, we're going to get that momentum back, but she's going to sneak over to this precursor ship, and I feel like I want to roll on it only because it's probably a really old ship, some she ain't ever seen before, and she's going to have to take some time to figure out where this hydrogen injector is and how she can get it out properly. And I know that like in her satchel, she's got all kinds of tools and stuff, so I'm not even worried about that. She's going to start pulling out tools and doing stuff, while failsafe is like keeping an eye out, but I want to roll to secure an advantage. So we're going to do. What the oh, wow. Okay, that's a 6 plus our 3 shadow, which makes it a 9, plus our 1 from our gearhead, which makes it a 10, which means we could not miss this, even though I got an 8 and a 9. That's crazy. I forgot the picture of the SilverOrder guy was still up there. Wow. How long has that been up there for? Whatever. Okay, so we got a 10. So that is a strong hit. On a hit, you succeed. On a strong hit, take both. We get +2 momentum, plus the 1 momentum from our gearhead, and we get a +1 on our next move that is not a progress move. So it's kind of worth it to do that, which means we're going from 4 to 7. 7 is a good amount of momentum to have. Because on a 7, that's actually sometimes we can actually spend this momentum, you know what I mean? We can get rid of it, whatever. But after some time, she pulls the hydrogen injector out. She's like, she looks at Failsafe, she winks, and he's like,
"Good job, man. Let's get out of here."
She's like, "Of course, but first, we gotta find Tion. Then maybe once and for all, we can leave Janus together." Now I gotta decide what move I want to take next, but she's definitely gonna sneak back over behind the crates with the hydrogen injector in hand, and she knows, I think we just gotta go up like a hallway in this mine. There's like rocky hallway that was built in the side of this mountain. We just gotta go up it, and she's probably there. But there's probably 2 guards that we need to sneak past, and this is, since there was so many that just came down, I don't think we want to alert these guards and fight them. I gotta think for a sec. So I'm thinking like straight up, we're going to secure an advantage again. This is like the second time I'm rolling secure an advantage, but it even says in aid an ally. When you act in direct support of an ally, envision how you aid, then secure an advantage to take an action. You score a hit, they, instead of you, take the benefits of the move. I think when it means ally, I think in this situation it might mean like someone else that you're playing with, but I still envision Tion as an ally of ours. And on here it does have shadow again, and I do really want to sneak past these 2 guards to get up to where the prison cell is to kind of figure out that situation. And we might be able to gather information up there as well. I should have written down a vow to help Tion escape prison is what I should have done. Noted for future. And I guess we didn't even know, Cassidy didn't even know that Tion was in prison until she heard these guards talk about it. I mean, in the fiction, she had no idea. So she hears these guards talking about it, and then she goes, "Oh shit, they got Tion here. We gotta save her." And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna secure an advantage, and we might use our psionics if we have to. That's a 6 plus 3 on our shadow. That's a 9 again. That's 2 great hits in a row. So we're getting our 2 momentum. Plus, we also got a +1 on that. So we're also getting, on our next move, we have 9 momentum right now. Okay, hold on to that, because those weak hits were hitting us hard in the last few episodes. So that's wonderful. So we sneak around all these crates with Failsafe around these guys just jibber-jabbering, and we're going to reach up to where the jail cell is. And once we get there, we see Tion in there, and we're like, "Tion, psst, hey, Tion." And she looks up, she's like, "Oh my stars, is that Cassidy Cayde? Have you come to rescue me?" "Yeah, why are you here? What? Look, we're gonna have to talk about this later, but I made a promise. I promised you that I wouldn't leave Janus without you. So we need to get you the heck out of here. Where are the keys, Tion? How do we get you out of here?" And are the keys just somewhere in this area to unlock this thing? I doubt it, but let's just see. That is an 88, which is a no. I was calling it 50. That's a no. Another double, but not on an action, so it doesn't matter. So she's like, well, I don't think they're in here. Use your wrench, Cassidy. Use your tools. Get us out of here, Cassidy." And I think we're going to roll on our shadow. We're going to use our sonic. Wait, is this like an old school jail, like made out of metal bars, like Western style? 50-50, that's 27, yes. Okay. So maybe what we could do is, first we'll try Shadow, and she's going to get down, she's going to pull out some of her tools, and she's going to try to just unlock this thing. And I'm just going to roll to see if that works. Plus our Shadow, that is a 7. We also get that +1, which makes it an 8. So that's a weak hit. So I think it takes her some time, and she can hear the guards coming around the corner when she finally gets it open. And she's like, "Tion, come on, hurry, we gotta go now, hurry up, come on." And she's like old, so she's like got her arm under her, and she's like walking with her, and she turns and she's like, "Tion, do you know if there's any like explosives or anything anywhere?" And Tion's like, Well, yes. I mean, well, does she know? Because that's going to help us. There is actually another move that we could do called check your gear. I just want to see if maybe Cassidy just has something explosive with her. We're going to roll plus supply, which we haven't done before. So that's 5. Lord, that is a 6 and a 6 and a 6. So that's 3 6s, which is a double. Hold on. Okay, on a strong hit, we have it, and we're ready to act. We get +1 momentum. Additionally, it doesn't say anything about on a match here. And if you read in the book, it says on a match. If there's no descriptions of on a match, you can just use it to introduce a twist or something like that. So I think she actually reaches in her pocket and she realizes she's got some kind of something. I would love a name for an explosive in sci-fi. This is a good opportunity to open up our techno babble. That would be 200. She reaches in her pocket and she realizes she has 33. Megatomic 3. Magnetic. I was looking for not adverbs. Come on here. It's a 6. She's got megatonic magnetic tree briz. That's TREBRIZ. Megatonic magnetic tree briz. And she goes, I forgot that I had this. She turns to Tion and she's like, as they're walking towards the exit, by the way, she turns to Tion and she's like, Tion, I think if these other boxes have explosives in it, I could bring this whole place down with this. And Tion goes, really? Cassidy Cayde? That's a choice you must make. There may be casualties here. Are you a murderer, Cassidy Cayde? I think she's like, well, I mean, these guys haven't necessarily done anything wrong to me. What do you think, Tion? And I think this is an option. Does Tion think that they should all die? Or does Tion, 50-50. I think under 50, yes. Over 50, no. Nope, that's a 26. She goes, well, Cassidy, these are not good people. I can't say why now, but they're not good people. I wouldn't be mad at you if you were to close this mine. The things they're trying to do here, Cassidy, is not good. And so I think she's like, all right. And they sneak back over. Oh, there was 2 guards there. Is there another way around that we can see that she can walk with Tion to get back to the exit? That is a 65, so that's a no. So then what? How do we get back to the exit? I think now's a good time to use our powers. I think we stop around the corner. We see the 2 guys still talking. And Cassidy turns to Tion and she's like, okay, I've been working on something. And I kind of want to show you this. I haven't shown anyone this before, okay? She's like, all right, what do you got? And her powers deal with technology, right? We have this psionic thing, but we're kind of homebrewing it to make it deal with technology. And so what I think she's actually going to do is she's going to use her powers to create a distraction. She's going to reach out and she's going to try to start the Precursor ship. Just make it like light up to distract these guys and freak them out a little bit. Oof, we good? I think we're good. My USBs just reset. They do that sometimes. If you're in a risky situation and you draw on your powers to make a move. So are we making a move or are we just doing this fictionally is my question. I think in this situation, we're just going to do it fictionally. And she's going to reach out and she's going to use her powers and the ship's going to light up. Like for a few seconds. And both the guards are going to go, oi, what? I didn't think that thing worked. Hey, Jerry. His name's Jerry. Come with me, let's see what's going on. And they walk towards it. At that point, they skedaddle. They run as fast as they can down this hill in this mine and back to the exit. And Tion's like, oh, this is how you got in here? This is genius. I know. Thought of it myself. And she's going to place down the megatonic magnetic, already forgot what it was. Tree briz. Megatonic magnetic tree briz. Which in my head, I envision it's almost, I think, like a stick of dynamite, but it's like squishy, like a squishy, fleshy thing that's got like a pull cord on it. And when she pulls it, it heats up because I imagine this is something that could be used in space. So it doesn't need, oxygen like dynamite or whatever. So it kind of heats up from the inside and then explodes. And I think as she pulls it, she yells into the mine to all of them. She's like, y'all might want to leave. Get out of here. Go. And the guys turn around. They're like, what? And they see it heating up as all 3 of them take off down the tunnel and just start running as best they can. Tion is old. And then there's a huge explosion. And the mine starts crumbling behind them. And I think we make it out into the tunnel just as it completely crumbles. And I don't usually do a lot of fiction like that without dice rolls. But I think in this situation, we've done a lot. But we have saved Tion. which means a couple of things. There's a couple of things we get to do right now. One of those is that we got the hydrogen injector, so we actually get to move forward our escape Janus track here, which means we're at 7 on that, which is sweet. We also purposefully went out of our way to help save Tion. And okay, so we don't get to forge a bond yet, but we do get to develop our relation. You may mark progress per the rank of the connect. Okay, and I don't know why I did that before, so I'm just gonna finish that one and do that one. So we're at 4 now with Tion. And I also want to write down possible SilverOrder, because I think that makes a lot of sense in my head that Tion used to work for the friggin' SilverOrder. So now we've escaped, we're back in the tunnel, we're back in safety. And I think Cassidy explains to Tion a little bit about her powers and stuff and how they've been developing, and Tion's kind of like, I know, I've seen it. Cassidy, let me tell you something. The SilverOrder puts you in prison because they see your connection to technology. They've seen it when you were a child. The SilverOrder was afraid of your powers, Cassidy. Why do you think they locked you up? Can you recollect that you did anything wrong? And she's like, no, actually, I don't. I just thought it was because I was with the wrong group of people. She's like, no, you were just surviving, Cassidy. The SilverOrder doesn't hurt or arrest people for stealing, or for that matter, even murdering. The SilverOrder doesn't care about it. The SilverOrder is scared of technology, Cassidy, and that's why they brought you here. She's also like, they've been investigating Janus for some time. There was rumors that there was some kind of hidden ruins here. And Cassidy's like, oh yeah, about that. I found it. I found the hidden ruins. It was a beacon. It gave me a piece of a map, and it might help me find the astral elves where I'm supposed to come from. I'm sorry, Tion, I don't usually share this much. I guess it's just been a long time since I've talked to a person and not a robot. No offense, failsafe.
None taken.
She's like, really? It's like, yeah, watch, let me show you. And they walk forward through the tunnel and they get to the beacon, and she tells her all about it and everything. And she's like, wow, Cassidy, I can't believe you came back for me in the first place. And I just have to thank you for that. I think now the SilverOrder is going to be hot on our trail. So let's get the heck out of here. Is there tunnels that lead in the other direction back to where we came from? Because we might be able to just walk these tunnels back to where Cassidy has kept her ship. And I'm going to call it extremely likely, because that's awesome. That's a 62, so that's a yes. Thankfully, I didn't get a 100 again. My lord. And she goes, yes. And then failsafe probably tells her,
Man, if we follow the tunnel to the south, it will actually lead us right back to where we've kept the fallen Mercury. No need to hide or rush.
And she looks over at Tion and she's like, well, there you have it. My friend here, failsafe, tells us that we're pretty much home free if we want to just follow this tunnel all the way back. All right, Cassidy, we will continue to talk as we walk. I assume we have a day or two's travel to get back to where you came from, and I say we get out of here as fast as possible. Right, but I think before they go, I think she turns in the door that comes from the beacon into, like, the tunnel area. I think Cassidy shuts it and, like, locks it, you know? She, like, in the way of locking. I'm assuming there's like a keypad mechanism or something, and I think she takes out her sonic wrench and just smashes the keypad to stop it from ever opening again. And then they head off back to the fallen Mercury. And I think as they're walking through the tunnels, they're going to see the end of the tunnel that like opens up into sunlight. And off in the distance past the sunlight, we can see Cassidy's ship, the fallen Mercury. And I think with that sight, that's where we're going to leave today's episode, because all Cassidy has to do is put the hydrogen injector in the ship and we're going to space, baby. We're finally going to escape Janus, but we do have to do a couple of dice rolls before we can just make that happen, rolling on our tracks and other kinds of stuff. But lots of progress. I really tried to push through this one. I think this is actually the fastest. Now I'm starting to learn this system. This is the fastest I've made this much progress before. My recording is actually shorter today, which is wonderful. I don't know what it's going to look like edited. We'll see. But I am starting to learn the system, which I think is really cool. And this is episode 4, I think, today. Is wonderful. I'm going to at least do 5 episodes of this before I move on to a different system or take a break from this and come back, because this is what I tend to do. I tend to, try out some other stuff and try some stuff here and there. I really like learning new systems and telling all different kinds of stories. So I'm really excited that we're going to get to do some space stuff and maybe even go to another planet before we end this first arc of this series. It's wonderful stuff. I thought about doing 6 because the first one was all world building. We'll see what happens. Either way, if you want to see more episodes of The Last Astral, make sure to leave a like down below. Get enough likes on this series, I'll do some more. That's how I like to do it. So, that's where we're ending today's episode. I think it's a good ending. We saved Tion. We've got the hydrogen injector. It's time to get the heck out of Janus. Huge Janus. You know what I mean?